This is a reading of Brenda's blog titled, Your Change is in the Air. Dear ones, likely you have recently experienced a surprise that points you in a new direction. Some of you are comfortable with this, while others are terrified or are randomly experiencing both emotions. You have been content to restrict yourself, using COVID or your inner messages to limit your interactions, filling those limiting days with activities that now seem pointless or waste your waking hours. Your long rest is over. In the past few years, you shed 3D karma, friends and relatives, and curtailed your activities. Perhaps you were among those who traveled, continued to entertain, or worked in a group setting. But as you performed those activities during this rest and regenerative stage, those activities became more work than fun. That which is new is capturing your attention. A new activity that is not logical or who you thought you were, opening your being to new thoughts and possibilities. No one can tell you if this new activity is right for you, including soothsayers, psychics, and mind readers. Similar to someone with an elementary school education attempting to inform a scientist about the technical aspects of their position. Unless the psychic is on the exact path as you, which is no longer possible, they will not understand the nuances necessary for you to make your decision. You must follow your inner messages, which will initially waver. For those of you who are psychic or otherwise otherworldly, you will understand the need to hone your skills before your inner messages are as clear as you would like, as was true when you first started reading or channeling for others. You will likely have peaks of clarity with emotional ups and downs as you decipher your new internal messages. The changes you are contemplating are much deeper than choosing a mode of transportation, marriage, or giving birth. All actions documented by eons of 3D participants. Your inner directives are new, so you have little precedent, personally or globally, to confirm your rightness, or even some of the steps necessary to achieve your newfound happiness. You are new, with new inner directives, few of which seem logical, for those directives are designed to shift you in new directions. So your question to yourself and others will be, should I do this? This seems right and wrong. What should I do, and when? Questions that no one other than you can answer, as you flutter between yes and no, and maybe. You want the correct answer before you take the leap, but the necessary information is only available to your inner being. A segment of your new totality you are just beginning to access. Knowing you are the only being with the information necessary to help you decide what to do likely feels overwhelming at times. For you are not used to declaring independence from social norms. Should you wait until this or that happens? Should someone who knows you better than your 3D self make the decision for you? What if you are reading yourself wrong, and you move in a direction that seems counterintuitive but feels right? And on as you battle with yourself, trying to force a seemingly logical action into a clean little box of rightness. Just asking yourself the questions will clarify why this seemingly illogical move is right for you. For this shift, this move, is most likely the skeleton of your new being. In essence, you are creating the framework of your new being, despite the illogic of doing so, as you learn how to listen to your inner being. You will ask yourself repeatedly, why this action seems right for you and why it presents itself now. And then you will deny the answers until you can no longer deny yourself. This shift, change concept will initially feel more wrong than right, That is, until you accept the wisdom of your inner voice without qualifiers or pleading to be allowed to ignore your inner voice. In 3D, significant decisions were most often more straightforward because you had eons of precedent, plus the urgings of your family and friends. Those safeguards and bridges are gone. You merely have you. The glory of no longer requiring input from others, including your past life segments attuned to 3D, is that you are becoming a self-contained, universal entity. Step 1 of that entity is to create your new skeleton, the phase you are in or will soon enter. A skeleton that becomes sturdier as you move into the totality of your new being. Many of you are pushing yourself beyond what you expected a few days ago. Do not fret. You have the strength to create your new skeleton because you have been preparing for this particular push throughout your isolation rest time. If you have not discovered any dreams, new interests, or possibilities, do not worry. You will when the time is right. Dreams that might be a building block to your new skeleton or the new skeleton, it does not matter. For you are now in the building phase of a new you, something you have never before experienced while on the new earth. Allow yourself to flow into yourself through your inner voice, no matter how unnatural it might feel at your first inkling of what your new you requires. Then, let that information process until you know that moving forward is more beneficial than stagnating as you ponder the pros and cons of your decision. Just as you became a young adult after 3D puberty, you will move forward physically and or emotionally in the next few weeks. Your change is in the air. So be it. Amen.